Welcome, our lovely students. Today we are going to talk about Unit 1, Lesson 4, Ratios among three numbers. And in this lesson, we have numerical problems and story problems. So let's start. Simplify each of the following. A, 36 to 48 to 84. Now we have three terms. So let's try to find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. 36 and 48 and 84, they can be divided by 2. So 36 divided by 2 equals 18, and 48 divided by 2 equals 24, and 84 divided by 2 equals 42. Again, let's try to find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. 18 and 24 and 42 can be divided by 2. So 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 24 divided by 2 equals 12, and 42 divided by 2 equals 21. Again, let's try to find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. 9, 12, 21, they can be divided by 3. So 9 divided by 3 equals 3, 12 divided by 3 equals 4, and 21 divided by 3 equals 7. So the ratio in its simplest form is 3 to 4 to 7. Let's have another example. B, 3 over 4, 2, 1 over 2, 2, 5 over 8. Now we have three fractions. To get the simplest form of the ratio, we must change them to whole numbers. So to change these fractions to whole numbers, let's look at the denominator. We have 4, 2, and 8. Which one is the biggest? Of course, the 8. So we can multiply each fraction by 8. So multiply 3 over 4 by 8, and multiply 1 over 2 by 8, and multiply 5 over 8 by 8. Okay, let's do it together. So 3 over 4 multiply 8, it means 8 over 1 equals 24 over 4. So 24 over 4 equals 6. So 3 over 4 multiply 8 equals 6. And 1 over 2 multiply 8 equals 8 over 2 equals 4. So 1 over 2 multiply 8 equals 4. And 5 over 8 multiply 8 equals 40 over 8 equals 5. So this is the ratio in its simplest form, 6 to 4 to 5. Let's have another example. C, 1.25 to 5 to 1.5. Now we have decimal. Okay, so let's look at the first term. How many digits after the decimal? We have 2 digits after the decimal. And in the third term, we have 1 digit after the decimal. So let's multiply by 100, because here in the first term, we have 2 digits after the decimal. So we will multiply the 3 terms by 100. Now multiply 1.25 multiply 100 equal 125. And 5 multiply 100 equals 500, and 1.5 multiply 100 equals 150. Now we have 125 to 500 to 150. Let's find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. The three numbers can be divided by 5. So 125 divided by 5 equals 25. 500 divided by 5 equals 100, and 150 divided by 5 equal 30. Now we have 25 to 100 to 30. Let's find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. The three numbers can be divided by 5. So 25 divided by 5 equals 5. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. And 30 divided by 5 equals 6. So the ratio in its simplest form is 5 to 20 to 6. Let's have another example. D, 1 over 4, 2. 2 over 5, 2, 3 over 10. Now again we have three fractions. So we must change them to whole numbers. So let's look at the denominator. Which one is the biggest denominator? 10. So let's multiply the 3 terms by 10. So multiply 1 over 4 by 10 and multiply 2 over 5 by 10 and also multiply 3 over 10 by 10. So 1 over 4 multiply 10 equals 10 over 4 equals 5 over 2. So let's write 5 over 2. And 2 over 5 multiply 10 equals 20 over 5, which is equal 4. And 3 over 10 multiply 10 equal 30 over 10, which is equal 3. Now we have 5 over 2, 2, 4, 2, 3. We have here a fraction. We didn't change this fraction. So let's change it to whole number. So let's look at the denominator. Here it means 4 over 1 and it means 3 over 1. So the biggest denominator is 2. So to change this term to whole number, multiply by 2. So let's multiply 5 over 2 by 2 equals 10 over 2, which is equal 5. And 4 multiply 2 equals 8, and 3 multiply 2 equals 6. Now we have the ratio in its simplest form, 5 to 8 to 6. Let's have another example. The three terms are mixed numbers. So the first step is to change them into improper fraction. So change the first term into improper fraction. 3 multiply 3 equals 9 plus 1 equals 10. 10 over 3, which is the denominator. And the second term, 6 multiply 4 equals 24 plus 1 is 25. 25 over 4, which is the denominator. And the third term, 4 multiply 8 equals 32. 32 plus 3 equals 35 over 8, the same denominator. Now we have three fractions, 10 over 3 and 25 over 4 and 35 over 8. So let's change them into whole numbers. So let's look at the biggest denominator, which is 8, and multiply the three fractions by 8. So multiply 10 over 3 by 8 and multiply 25 over 4 by 8 and multiply 35 over 8 by 8. So 10 over 3 multiply 8 equals 80 over 3. And 25 over 4 multiply 8 equals 200 over 4, which is equal 50. And 35 over 8 multiply 8 equals 280 over 8, which is equal 35. So we still have a fraction here. So we need to change this fraction to whole number. So multiply the three terms by the denominator by 3. So multiply 80 over 3 by 3 and multiply 50 by 3 and multiply 35 by 3. So 80 over 3 multiply 3 equals 240 over 3, which is equal 80. And 50 multiply 3 equals 150. And 35 multiply 3 equals 105. So now we have three whole numbers. Now we can simplify. Let's find a number that these three numbers can be divided by it. So they can be divided by 5. 80 divided by 5 equals 16. And 150 divided by 5 equals 30. And 105 divided by 5 equals 21. So the ratio in its simplest form is 16 to 30 to 21. Let's have another example. 2 and 1 over 2 kilogram to 3,000 gram to 4.5 kilogram. Now we have different units. We have kilogram and gram. So at the beginning, we must change the units. So we must change the kilogram. We prefer to change the biggest unit to the smallest unit. So we must change kilogram to grams. So to change from kilogram to gram multiplied by 1000. So 2 and 1 over 2 multiply 1000 equals 2500. And we have here 3000 grams, so let's write it. And 4.5 kilograms multiply 1000 equal 4500. 4500 grams. Now we have whole numbers 2500, 3000, and 4500. Okay, let's cross 2 zeros from each term. Now we have 25 to 30 to 45. So let's simplify. The three terms can be divided by 5. 25 divided by 5 equals 5, and 30 divided by 5 equals 6, and 45 divided by 5 equals 9. So the ratio in its simplest form is 5 to 6 to 9. Now let's see the word problems. Number 1, the ratio of the money that Karim has to Mina to Ahmed is 12 to 15 to 25. If Ahmed has LE 600, find the money that each of Karim and Mina has. So at the beginning, let's write the information that we have in this problem. So the ratio between Karim and Mina and Ahmed is 12 to 15 to 25. And we know that Ahmed has 600 LE. Now find the money that each of Karim and Mina has. So now we know that Ahmed has 600 LE. It means 25 parts equal 600. 25 parts equal 600. So how many for one part? To get one part, divide 600 by 25. So one part equal 600 divided 25 equals 24 LE. So now we know that one part equal 24 LE. Let's find how many for 12 parts. So Karim has 12 multiply 24, which means one part. 12 multiply 24 equals 288. And Mina has 15 multiply 24, which is equal 360 LE. So Karim has 288 and Mina has 360 LE. Let's have another problem. The sum of three numbers is 56 and the ratio among them is 2 to 1 to 5. Find each of these numbers. So let's write the information that we have, first and second and third number, and we know the sum of them. So the ratio is 2 to 1 to 5, and the sum is 56. Okay, so let's find the sum of the ratios. So 5 plus 1 equals 6, plus 2 equals 8. So 8 parts equal 56. Now find the first and the second and the third number. Now we know that 8 parts equal 56. So let's find one part. One part equals 56 divided by 8 equals 7. So one part equals 7. So what about two parts? So the first number equals 2 multiply 7, which is equal 14. And the second number equals 1 multiply 7, which is equal 7. And the third number equals 5 multiply 7 equals 35. 3. The ratio of the weights of 3 persons is 8 to 5 to 6. If the difference between the weights of the first one and the third one is 24 kilograms, find the weight of each one. So let's write the information that we have from this problem. So we have first person, second person, third person, and we have the difference between the first and the third person. So let's put the ratio. Ratio between the first and the second and third is 8 to 5 to 6. And the difference between the first person and the third person equals 24 kilograms. So let's find the ratio of the difference between the first person and the third person. 8 minus 6 equals 2. It means that 2 parts equal 24. So let's find the weight of each one. So 2 parts equal 24. How many for 1 part? 1 part equals 24 divided by 2 equals 12. So the first person, the weight of the first person equals 8 multiply 12, which is 1 part. 8 multiply 12 equals 96 kilograms. And the weight of the second person equals 5 multiply 12, which means 1 part, equals 60 kilograms. And the third person equals 6 multiply 12, which is 72 kilograms. Now let's have some examples on combining ratios. Number 1, A, B, and C are 3 numbers. If A to B equals 3 to 5, and B to C equal 4 to 7, find A to B to C. So let's write, we have ratio between A to B to C. The ratio between A to B is 3 to 5. And we don't know C, so let's put a square here. And the second ratio between B and C, which is 4 to 7, and we don't know A, so let's put a square. So to find the ratio of A to B to C, so let's look here. Which one has 2 ratios? B. So we can say that we have here full house. 5 and 4. The 2 ratios are already here with me. So let's multiply these 2 ratios together. 5 multiply 4 equals 20. So now I can get the ratio of B, which is equal 20. Let's find the ratio of A. Now, A, the first ratio, and we don't know the second ratio of A. So multiply A, the first ratio of A, with the second ratio of B. 3 multiply 4 equals 12. And now we have the second ratio of C. So multiply the second ratio of C with the first ratio of B. Multiply 5 by 7, which is equal 35. So the ratio between A, B, and C is 12 to 20 to 35. Let's have another example. Number 2, if A to B equals 2 to 5 and A to C equals 4 to 7, find A to B to C. So let's write the ratio between A to B to C. And we have the ratio between A to B, which is equal to 5. And we don't know the ratio of C. And now we have another ratio, which is between A and C, which is equal 4 to 7. So the ratio between A and C equal 4 to 7. And we don't know B. So find ratio between A to B to C. So which number has its 2 ratios? A. A has 2 ratios, 2 and 4. So let's multiply 2 by 4. So 2 multiply 4 equals 8. So now we need to find the ratio of B and the ratio of C. Now we have only one ratio for B. So let's multiply it with one ratio from A, but the first one or the second one? So let's look. The ratio of B here is the first one. So multiply it with the second ratio of A. It means 5 multiply 4 equals 20. And let's find the ratio of C. C here is the second ratio. So we need to multiply it with one ratio from A. So I want you to think, multiply it with the first ratio of A or the second ratio of A. Now, if we have the ratio here in the second line, so multiply it with ratio from the first line. So multiply 7 by 2. 7 by 2 equals 14. Now we have the ratio 8 to 20 to 14. Can we simplify? Yes, we can simplify. 8 and the 20 and 14 can be divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. And 14 divided by 2 equals 7. And this is the simplest form. Okay, now we have finished our lesson. Thank you so much. Goodbye.